Good morning. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. Today with my amazing guest, Mr. Neal Schaffer. He is with us today. You do not want to miss this. So share this with your friends, tag your friends, let them know we're on. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Oaks at Lebanon Retirement and Assisted Living, Liz Lawless and Author Adventures, Michelle Martin and Farmers Insurance, and Christine Smith and the Aging Better Network. For more information on the Oaks at Lebanon and their retirement and assisted living, call 541-258-7777. And for more information on Liz Lawless and Author Adventures, go to lizlawless.com. And for more information on Farmers Insurance and Michelle Martin and their insurance services in Albany, Oregon, call 541-981-2616. And finally, for the Aging Better Network and Christine Smith, go to agingbetternetwork.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. I am so excited for today. Why? Because it's a new day and because you're here and because I get the opportunity to share uplifting, positive messages with you and value from amazing people like Mr. Neal Schaffer, who's with us today. I am so excited to bring him in here in a short time, but I want to tell you first, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new, welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. We are all about how amazing people connect. Yes, that is true. My philosophy on marketing, on sales, on life is connection and community building. When we build community and relationships with others, amazing things happen. And so I'm so thankful that you're here today. And of course, I love to connect with you. So go to russhedge.com today. In fact, at russhedge.com, you can find out everything about me. You can find out all my connection links, and you can even find out about, my new book out, Life Happens and Then You Choose. Yes, that is my theme of life. Well, one of my themes of life. Life happens and then you choose. And within that, as you've heard me say, if you know me, within that, chapter 5 is God's not done with me yet. Yes, after I finished this book, actually my last PET scan and MRI, for those of you who know I've been going through a cancer journey, showed no sign of disease, cancer-free, and I am blessed and thanking God every day for that. So anyway, but through all the challenges of life, and there's still many of them out there, this is it. Life happens and then you choose every day of your life. So you can pick that up on Amazon or just go to russhedge.com and it'll bring a pop-up up on the page and take you to Amazon. So there you go. So anyway, I'm so thankful you're here. Also, if you would be so kind as to please subscribe to our YouTube page. It is growing by leaps and bounds. And I'm telling you, all you got to do, if you know the name of the show, you know how to get there. Marketingwithruss.live. Marketingwithruss.live is the place to go. So go there today and you can connect and subscribe to the YouTube page. In fact, if you've got a second, go up and open up a window right now. If you're not connected already, subscribe today, because not only will you see Neal on YouTube, but you'll see all the other amazing guests we have here on Marketing with Russ, on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, on the Experience Local, on Russ Reels Live, all my live streams. You definitely want to go there for that. So please do that today. Also, right now, people are getting busy. It's Thursday. You know what? They're trying to plan for their weekend. Share this out and remind them. Guess what? Marketing with Russ is on, and Neal Schaffer's on today. Oh my goodness, you don't want to miss it. You can tag your friends, just put the @, put their name, simple, let them know what's going on. And that would be so thankful. I would be so thankful and grateful if you did that. That'd be so great. So normally behind me is my books. And my original book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And now the new book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. There you go. I am getting ready for a book release party. We actually released last Monday. It's available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and in ebook. And I'm going to show you here. There we go. And also, we are having a book release here in Albany, Oregon, for those people locally on the 22nd, a book signing. So I will be signing books there on that day. You can come on by the Willamette Valley Christian Supply, which is in the mall in Albany, Oregon. All the information is there. You'll find that on social media as well. And I appreciate everybody that's in the local area doing that. So I also wanted to remind you, not only are we sponsor supported, thank you for our sponsors, the Oaks of Lebanon, Liz Lawless, Farmers Insurance, and Michelle Martin, and Christine Smith, and Aspects of Aging. But we are also listener supported. We couldn't do this without you. So scan the QR code today or go to the link in the comments, and whatever you can do to help with production costs would be amazing, because that keeps us on the air. We can't do this without you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all of you who bless us so much. Thank you. I'm just so grateful for that. All right. The last thing we do every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, is our marketing tip of the day. And the marketing tip of the day, you're going to love it. This gets cut out, put on YouTube Shorts, also gets put on social media. And so you can actually just watch the marketing tip of the day again, and you can share it with your friends. So I wish you would do that today. So are you ready? This should be just a short little uplifting thing for you today. So here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Choose wisely. That's right. Choose wisely. What do I mean by that? You know what? Every day of your life, you are making choices. Your perspective, your mindset, where you're going, things happening, life is happening to you, and you're making choices where you're going from there. Choose wisely. Think about, who are you hanging around with? As Jim Rohn says, that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And you need to be in a good community where you're spending time with people that are lifting you up, that won't let you fail, that are doing amazing things for you. And today I want to encourage you to do that. Think about, choose wisely who you're hanging out with, what you're doing, what you're putting in your mind, and what your thoughts are, because whatever you think about, that directs your life. Change your thinking, change your life. Get out there today, make things a positive experience, a positive environment. And so do that, choose wisely. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. That'll get cut out separately. And I am so excited to get Neal in here, get things started. Here he comes, Mr. Neal Schaffer. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Russ. First of all, that was an amazing introduction. So much to be congratulating you for. Cancer-free new book. Amazing, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I tell you, I am blessed beyond measure. Thank you, God, every day for that. So thank you so much. And I'm super excited about the book. So today, though, it's all about you, my friend. So Neal, tell everybody, who in the world is Neal Schaffer? What are you up to?
Yeah, I am what you would call a fractional CMO. So I help small businesses, entrepreneurs, professionals with their digital marketing strategy. Anything from, Facebook ads to LinkedIn, personal branding to, engagement with influencers. So digital marketing encompasses a lot of different things. But getting back to the theme of this show, a lot of it does come down to that human connection, right? And I really enjoy those companies that want to more deeply connect with their communities, with their prospects, with their customers. And I think those brands, those businesses are the ones that end up doing, the best at marketing, because it's those human connections that will spur word of mouth. They'll give you lots of great feedback. And yes, we're in business to have a business, but if we're in business to make friends and we make lots of friends, that can be the key to our success. So, I love what you're doing here, Russ. And it's something that a lot of businesses, they just think we'll throw money at advertising and hope for the best. But there's a lot of other things, businesses and everybody listening can do to really connect.
Oh, absolutely. And I love what you said too. To me, I do a workshop on how to turn cold calling into making friends. And I love the book by Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, a timeless, amazing book that everybody should read 5 or 6 times. It is such a great outlook on this, what we're talking about, connecting and building community, because what happens through, all of the digital advertising and all the sales and things we're doing for our businesses, we're looking to get people that know, like, and trust us. It's an old adage, overused, yes, the know, like, and trust. But a lot of people look at that like kind of a one and done, like know, like, and trust. Good. Now I'm all good. Now I'll sit back, rest, and let people just come to me. But what they don't realize is know, like, and trust is like a wheel. It's a constant process. Know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust, and connecting with people, building relationships, and then not letting those relationships die in all that you're doing. So in your business, I mean, you've been very successful, and in your business with all the digital marketing things you do, where is your primary target audience? And is it people in your local community? Are you doing most with people around the world? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, I should also say that not only am I a consultant, but I'm also an author. I've written 6 books. These are all digital marketing related. I also teach at some universities. I also speak. I'm also what you would call a B2B creator, working with B2B brands on really leveraging or amplifying their voice in social media. So I do a lot of various things. And, I'm based here in Orange County, California, same left coast of the United States. And I realized back in 2008, when I started blogging about LinkedIn, and in 2009, I had a lot of local people reach out to me asking questions about LinkedIn. And hey, can you speak to our local group and the local community about LinkedIn, which led to blog into a book, and then my book into speaking opportunities, and then speaking opportunities became consulting opportunities. And 15 years ago, I launched my consulting business. So what I realized then was when I started blogging about LinkedIn back in 2008, I started making friends and making connections around the world. So while at the beginning I was getting a lot of local interest, I realized that I wasn't limited to just where I'm based locally. Like this can help people around the world because of the power of the internet and of social media. So I've never really focused on my local network, although there's a lot more that I could probably do here locally in Orange County, California, which is a huge, very wealthy, part of the United States, which I probably should do more in. I also want to point out that I started in B2B sales. So semiconductors, embedded software, high technology. And when I started with LinkedIn and 15 years ago, a lot of B2B companies weren't looking at social media. They were still left in traditional marketing ways. But it were the B2C companies that were being very aggressive and being very innovative with how they present themselves in social media. So I didn't limit myself just to the semiconductor industry or high technology. I really wanted to serve those that needed serving. And that ended up being a wide variety of industries. And in fact, in January of 2010, when I got these, consulting opportunities, they came from 4 different companies in 4 distinctly different industries. And that's where I decided, you know what, I'm going to go where the winds take me, and serve those that I can serve and those that appreciate my value. And from there, word of mouth and referrals and all that, it just ended up being this like natural referral machine. So I am the rare person out there in social media who doesn't really have a specific niche other than I want to serve, businesses with digital marketing. So yeah, I would recommend people to have a niche, but I guess if you're that well known, you don't necessarily need to have that niche in order to be able to generate business.
Well, and that is a perfect point there, Neal, because when you're building community and you're getting known, those referrals come naturally. And you're right. I mean, there's a lot of very good principles that are good across any kind of industry when you're really looking at what people should be doing. But again, then we need to personalize those for each person. And you, being a service-minded individual, you get to see that it just oozes out of you that you want to help people. And that's amazing. I love the fact that you're also an author, and I did know that, and I've got to get one of your books because I've seen some of the stuff out there that you put out, and that's amazing. And we'll get some of that here in the comments and the show notes. But also, you're a speaker, and I'm also a speaker, so we have a lot in common. And I love to get out there and just really inspire and encourage people because I'm a firm believer that inspired, encouraged workforce is a good workforce, right? Is a productive workforce. And so I want to help teams be more inspired and encouraged. So what got you involved in that speaking end of it? People just started asking you, or was it something you intentionally went after?
Yeah, so we need to flip the clock back to 2008, 2009. We were in a recession of sorts, and there were a lot of networking groups, at least here. A lot of them had LinkedIn groups when they were still popular, and they were having, physical meetings, early in the morning outside of a Starbucks or, in a borrowed office at a university locally. So, I was just very, very active in these networking groups. Obviously, I was blogging and I published this book. So the speaking often came from people that were part of those groups, right? When you're part of a community, then there are people who know people. It's like, hey, do you know someone who might be able to speak about this? Or when someone's in a conversation, they go, yeah, I heard someone really interesting talk about LinkedIn. So I think it was a combination of a few things. It was me going out there in the community, being active. And for those of you, it could mean going to Chamber of Commerce meetings, right? It could be joining Toastmasters. I mean, there's a lot of different community groups. It could be joining, I volunteered for my kids' PTA, as a way of networking. So it's really getting yourself out there, because if you're not getting yourself out there meeting people, none of this happens. And then once you're out there, you need to be delivering value. I mean, I would sit down for 30 minutes and give people my advice on how they can improve their LinkedIn profile. I wasn't asking for anything. I was just serving my local community, serving the people that I wanted to support. And I think that after a while, I like to call it a flywheel, right? Enough people know about you and you have enough of a brand and you're giving enough value that slowly the word gets out, right? Now, another important point to make is the timing was that we were very early in social media. People hadn't figured out a lot of what we figured out today. So, today that might be talking and helping about AI, for instance, if you really know what you're doing there. But it's really, having a new skill that people can use or new information and making sure you get out there, let people know about it, and most importantly, serve people. And I do believe that comes back to you. And in this case, I was there on a stage in front of a few hundred people as part of a panel, literally, 1 year after I had started my blog, before I even wrote my book. I was at an event at UCLA in front of a few hundred people on this panel talking about LinkedIn. So, it's amazing how networking can take you places. And it really is how I launched, my own business, and I'm still here today.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, and I'm going to go back to one thing you brought up about getting involved in your local chamber or Toastmasters or groups and all of that. It is such a great way to expand community quickly, to get out there, to really meet people, to get the word out there, gives you a chance to actually speak in front of them too, and do a lot of things. So whether you're selling a product or service, or you want to speak, or you have a book, or whatever the things are, you get the word out much more quickly. And I have found in the communities that I'm in, I always start with the chamber because everything kind of bubbles out from there. And we have really active and good chambers in the area here in Oregon where I live. And so it's been such a blessing. And I think that's amazing, when you're also connecting with people that way. So what got you started writing? So you wrote your book, your first book. Did you intend to be a writer? Did somebody inspire you? I know I got inspired. I never thought I'd write a book. And I got inspired by a good friend and my co-host of one of my other shows. How about you?
Yeah, so I actually, long history, but after I graduated from college here in the US, I actually launched my career in Japan. So I lived in Asia for 15 years, came back, was still consulting with the company I was working for. And then I decided that I was going to go out there and look for my first job in the United States, believe it or not, halfway through my career. So I get out there, and that was the point where I realized that LinkedIn could be a really valuable part of not just helping me find that job, but also helping me in my sales and business development and now marketing work. So the minute that I got the offer to work at a new company, and this is July of 2008, that is when actually it's like, you know what, I've spent so much time, there's so much knowledge I've gained. Even when I'm working, I want to use my knowledge as a networking vehicle. And that's where I launched Blog. So this is July 2008. And even while I was working, I was still, posting a few blog posts here and there. Well, then we had the Lehman Brothers crash, and 3.5 months after this company hired me, they said, "Sorry, Neal, we're giving up on international business. We're having a major restructuring," and that was the end of what I was doing. And for anyone that's ever been in a situation, for me, it was the first time that ever happened to me, and it taught me that I needed to create something that no corporate entity could take away from me. And that was my personal brand. And that's where now, being in transition, in a recession, I had a little bit more time to spend more time on LinkedIn and write more blog posts. And then my wife said, Neal, if you don't find, your new position, why don't you write a book? And like you, I don't want to become an author. You're crazy. But I also realized that I could take this blog that I'd written. I already had 25% of my book. So I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? In the next 3 months, if I don't get that position, I'm going to write that book. And fast forward, I wrote the book. And, I've seen over time, Russ, and I'm sure you have as well, that every book that I write, it sparks new conversations. It leads to new speaking engagements, new consulting engagements. And I'm a huge fan of nonfiction business books. And I would encourage everybody out there has a book in them. And, imagine the next time you go to a business meeting, imagine, I forgot who it was at Farmers Insurance, but they have a book on, how to best protect your family in global warming. I don't know, whatever the topic is. And they have like a little 20 or 30 page book that they can actually give someone. It becomes this amazing business card, right? It also offers tremendous value. It's something that's physical. Maybe they have it on a coffee table. Someone comes to their house, they see it. So I think books are a very, very undervalued networking vehicle as well. And I would challenge everybody listening, if they see a use for that and they have some information that they want to share that's relevant to their business that can help generate, business for them, like you've done, Russ, and like I've done, I would encourage people to begin that journey.
Well, there's two things you said there that I really love, and that is, your personal brand, how important that is. Number two, you took your blog and you started your book with that basis, repurposing what you'd already done. And it's amazing, Neal. I'm feeling good about myself because I did the same thing that you did. I took my newsletters, and it is what was the foundation for a lot of my chapters in my book. And it gives you a good running start, right, as far as writing. My good friend D. Scott Smith, who's with us this morning, my co-host of 3 of my other shows, he really encouraged me and said, you know what, you got a book in you, and it will help your personal brand. It will help getting you out there and your visibility, because people will see that. And so I just think all that you said is spot on, amazing. And so out of the different things you're doing, so you're working with people on their personal brand, you are writing books, you're speaking. What is your favorite thing to do? What's your passion out of all of those different things?
I think it's because of this B2B sales background that I have, where I love to see, when you make a sale, when revenues come up, you actually see the number. There's a feeling of satisfaction that you get. So I really love when I am able to help companies or, executives or professionals, and we see those results that come in. And that is by far the thing that really drives me to do more, to want to do more. Just seeing the impact of what we do. And I think everybody would probably share that sentiment. So yeah, obviously when I speak and someone comes up to me afterwards and says, oh my gosh, I've got so many ideas to implement in my company. Thank you. So it comes in a lot of different formats. So there's not one specific thing I do, but I think it is when I'm working, one-on-one with an executive or with a company and with their team over the course of several weeks or several months, you have that deeper relationship and you see that deeper impact. And that's what I really love.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love people. So anybody I can get out with, whether I'm doing B2B, whether I'm speaking, which I love doing, that's probably my favorite, is speaking in front of groups. As you can tell, I get a little passionate, I get a little excited, but I love doing that. Or no matter what I'm doing, even writing, because I get out, do book signings, do whatever. I love to be around people, and I feel like that is really the stronghold of my business, because as people get to know me, just like you said, it elevates your personal brand. They're looking at, they get to know who you are, but it's important. The last thing I want you to comment on here is it's important that people know that they're clearly putting out clarity and simplicity with their personal brand, so people understand what they do, right?
Absolutely. And, writing a book on personal branding as we speak. So it's always been part of books I've written and what have you, especially when we talk about LinkedIn. But, the classic definition attributed to Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is a personal brand is what they say about you when you're not in the room. So some parts of that you can't control, but I believe personal branding is all about what you can control, controlling the narrative, planting ideas and seeds and words in your profile when you speak, when people ask you what you do for a living. All those things add up to your personal brand. So we need to be we need to have a lot of intent. And as you said, I couldn't agree more. You need to have a lot of clarity as well, because the clearer you are, the easier it is for people to not only remember who you are, what you do, but also to recommend you to others. The other critical part of this, the value, the ROI of your personal brand.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you and I could talk forever, Neal. Amazing, 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 amazing. So, but we've got to wrap things up for today. So what I would love from you is tell everybody, what is your gold nugget of today? I mean, what do you really want them to remember about today's conversation? And then make sure and let everybody know how they could get in contact with you, because I already want to know more.
Well, I'm gonna keep banging the drum, Russ, because like, know, and trust is a concept that I bring up a lot in my speaking, in my books. And I know it's a very old adage, but it really is the center of relationships, of networking, and of business. So are you known? And, getting out there into the chambers, online, there's a lot of, it's easier to, it's a lot crowded, a lot more crowded, a lot more noisier, but there are many ways to get known, right? To be liked, you have to offer value, right? And you need to be consistent in order to be trusted. So I think that like, know, and trust is a North Star for me. And I hope it becomes a North Star, whether it's, networking or business or whatever it might be. It really is sort of the center of, I believe, how human beings operate. And it is timeless. And, with social media, without social media, with AI, without AI, I always come back to that. So I want you to remember that today, when you're out there, when you're trying to achieve something, whether it's, professional or personal, are you likable? Are you doing things that would get you liked in the community? That's, if it's just about you, you're not going to get liked. It's what's in it for me. And it's really serving others first before you ask to be served. And those are things that I think will get you very, very far in life.
Awesome. Awesome. And connection links.
Connection. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So
yeah. Yeah, so my name is Neal Schaffer. I'm the real Neal, so it's NEALSCHAFFER. That is my username pretty much everywhere on social media. That's my website, nealschaffer.com. You can find my books on Amazon by doing a search for Neal Schaffer. My two latest books I published last year are Digital Threads, which is a digital marketing playbook for small businesses, entrepreneurs, and then Maximizing LinkedIn for Business Growth, which is actually coming out with a second edition over the next few weeks. Adding a lot more advice on AI and what have you. I also have a podcast for those podcast listeners. It's called Your Digital Marketing Coach. So every week giving you digital marketing advice.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Neal. We've got all of that there. Everybody listening today or watching, it is in the show notes. It is in the comments. You can click on all of Neal's information. And we also got the information in there about the books. Make sure and connect with him. Buy his books. Find out what he's all about today, because this man is doing amazing things. And Neal, I'm just going to thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to say goodbye on the screen. Hang tight for just a minute in the green room while I wrap up, and I'll see you in a few.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Amazing man. I'm telling you, you guys need to connect with Neal today. All of his information has been up on the screen. Super easy. He's all about serving others. I love that. And I'm telling you, you need to check out all that he does and find out where he can help you with your digital marketing. So big thank you to Neal today. Big thank you to everybody that's watching today. Please share this out. Remember, we go live 8 a.m. every Monday and Thursday on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But guess what? After we're done, it sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever and Facebook for 30 days. So you go back and watch it again forever. That is why you definitely want to subscribe to our YouTube page by going to marketingwithruss.live today. And thank you. If you're watching on replay today, you can still share this out. You can still tag your friends. You can still connect and communicate with people in the comments and with Mr. Neal Schaffer. So please do that today. Don't forget, you can get me at russhedge.com with all the information, including my new book, Life Happens, and Then You Choose. Super excited. If you want to be inspired, that book is for you. And I appreciate you checking all that out. Also, wanted to make sure and let you know, wanted to thank our sponsors one more time. Let me get the banners off here. And there we go. So you can see it. There we go. The Oaks of Lebanon, Liz Lawless, Farmers Insurance, and Michelle Martin, and Christine Smith and Aspects of Aging. Appreciate them. And don't forget, we can't do it without you. We're also listener supported. You can scan the QR code or go to the link and give whatever you feel led to give today. I feel this is a ministry lifting up, bringing great value like people like Neal Schaffer to you and helping you with your business, with your life today. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much. Don't forget, on the 22nd, if you're locally at Willamette Valley Christian Supply here at the mall, you will be able to come in and get me to actually sign a book here in Oregon. So be blessed if you would show up and do that today. With that, we're going to say goodbye, but I forgot my other co-host today. Yeah! We have to bring Kermie in because he makes everybody smile. Okay, with that, until next time, have a great life. Bless you. See everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.